I grew up in my house was volatile. And there was a time it was like walking on eggshells. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
my baby brother had passed. He was premature. And when
Okay.
he passed, man, and when he passed, something broke in our house. Like my dad was a different person after that. We used to have fun. We used to go to the movies together. We used to do all this stuff. He was a completely different person. I'll never forget because I was 11. But when he passed, something broke in my dad, and we never talked about it in the house. Like we just went through this traumatic thing where our my mom lost a son, my dad lost a son, and we lost a brother, and we never talked about it.
Wow.
So it's like nobody's really grieving. My dad just started drinking heavier. My mom started going to church more. So there was like this split with them.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flip That Switch. I am your host, Brandon, aka B to the Decision IE, and we back with another episode. If you didn't get a chance to go back and watch the previous episode, please go back and watch it. As a matter of fact, before you watch this one, go back and watch that one. But today we're going to be diving into a new episode, and the person that's stopping by to interview with me today is my homeboy, Joseph. Joseph has a story that he wants to get out there to the masses, and his story and his perspective will resonate with a lot of people. And so we just going to wrap up and, talk about what his perspective is and what his journey is and what he went through to get here. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Joseph to the show. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro? How you
How
doing?
you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. In motion, man. Monday. Getting to it.
Yep, getting to it. I love it. I love it. All right, so question for you: what's going on in your world mentally? Kind of talk to me a little bit about where you are from a mental aspect.
Yeah. I love that question. Mentally where I am right now is this year I've really been focused on really staying in gratitude.
Mm,
Right. I really feel like I've 2025 was a year where I like learned how to have fun again. You
okay.
know, you spend years, a lifetime in the grind, trying to achieve and attain. You ain't necessarily having a good time with what you're doing. You're not enjoying the life you have, and so I really focused on enjoying and being grateful for everything that I have, like right where I am. And so that's kind of my mental state. I wake up, I try to make sure I wake up in it just gratitude, just thankful for everything from, family, career, like everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can definitely appreciate that. That's one thing that I need to work on myself more is just an attitude of gratitude. And it's not
Hmm.
that I'm not grateful for what I have, but sometimes, man, like I be going through the motions and the hustle and bustle every day, and I just don't take the time to step back and be like, man, I'm grateful for what I have, right? Because
100%.
I'm always trying to chase the next thing, like I'm trying to figure out what's the next thing that is coming my way. What am I trying to attain? What am I going for? What are my dreams, my hopes and goals? And I just be like always on to the next thing. So I can
Yeah.
appreciate you saying that because that's something that I actually need to work on myself.
Yeah, I mean it's real. That's for my life specifically. That's kind of been, pursuit and chasing and building and dream. All that stuff has been like, most of my life. I grew up, my dad put the ball in my hands early. And
Yeah.
from there I had a goal of making it obviously to the league, playing college ball, all that stuff. And so my mindset was very much, and my dad instilled like the next thing, you know, it's cool to get the accolades and do the stuff, check off the stuff, but what's next? What's next? And so that can really mess you up mentally. I'm not quite sure that mentality. Well, from my perspective, I don't think that mentality like really helps you in life, because it puts you in a disposition to where you're never present. You're always in the next thing,
Yeah.
and that can make for a really unhappy life. You know what I'm saying? Where you just not enjoying nothing you got. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just try to stay present. I tell my son all the time. He's in high school right now. He's a junior and he plays baseball. And I tell him like, have a good time, like enjoy playing the game. Like as
Yeah.
much as I love ball, I'm not sure if I really was having fun. And my state championship game in 2010 is still the holds the record for highest attendance. It was Lancaster
Oh,
versus Houston Yates.
okay.
I went to Lancaster, and two of the top teams in the nation. And I look back on that game, and I'll be like, man, I don't even remember having fun for real. It was just like so, focused in like trying to get this thing that I was like, I don't think I smiled at all, and I smile all the time, but it was just, you in that mode, which is good, it's that too, but just enjoying yourself and having fun and being grateful for where you are in the moment is so important, you know.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you said you had aspirations to go to the league, right?
Hmm.
And so when did that change? Because obviously, you're playing sports. You like, okay, this is about to go down. I feel like I'm good. We all got that. I feel like I'm good enough. I have the cats out here. I feel like I'm better than. I mean, I had the same aspirations. I hooped. I played football, but obviously, it didn't work out right. Because for me, it was like mom's was a single parent, so I was trying to get money. So I chose to work versus play sports. When you playing
Hmm.
sports, you got to dedicate
Your life,
110.
yeah.
Yeah, your life. Yeah, it ain't no having no job. It ain't no none of that.
Mm-mm.
So when did that flip for you to realize like, okay, this may be a dream that I'm not gonna fulfill. Let me kind of focus on other things. When did that kind of flip for you?
It didn't. It was by
Oh, okay.
choice. Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't. I never thought I wasn't good enough.
Okay.
For me, it was like I was in college. I had just finished my senior year of ball. I checked off what I wanted to do. I went to a small school in Missouri,
Okay.
and I had I had a great college career. Finished as an All American, and I by then I had fell so in love with music, and I got married early too. I was married at 20, so I'm
Oh,
married with a
wow.
with a son in college playing
Okay.
ball at the same time. But
Okay.
I also had fell in love with making music, and I really felt the tug to do that. And so when I finished, probably a lot of it had to do with arrogance, like you just think you know what you know.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, it's finna crack off for me music wise. It won't take that long, But that wasn't the case. But I never thought that I couldn't make it because everybody around me had. And if they hadn't gone to the league, they still playing ball professionally today overseas.
Yeah.
And I was of that caliber. And so and for my athletes, when I say this, they'll know what I'm talking about. But the game had just slowed down for me. Like I
Hmm.
was still like getting better. The game has slowed down to where it's like everything is moving in slow mo. Your IQ meets your skill at a certain point, and everything is just moving, and you're moving at a whole different pace.
Yeah.
And so I had just hit that point, and I didn't because I didn't love the work anymore. I was like, yeah, I can't do the game like that. I love it too much, and it's giving me too much to cheat it like that. And so yeah, that's kind of when when the switch flipped to be like, all right, I'm gonna take the same mentality and I'm gonna move it over into the music.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So let's talk about that. Obviously, you rap, and I know you mentioned you've been rapping for 14 years.
yeah. At this point, yep.
Uh, and so that passion that you had in sports, you said you moved it over to putting it into music, right?
Hmm.
So tell me, what made you choose that route? Like, what kind of, because obviously, you playing sports, that's kind of what your dreams are, and then all of a sudden you flip, right? And now it's like, okay, I'm gonna start doing music. What made you start tapping into music? Why did that become a passion for you?
It's funny. It was always that. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Like I'm fortunate enough to where I fell in love with the things that I do to this very day at a young age. Everything. When I was young, my dad had the ball in my hands and my mom had me on at church on stage. So it
Okay.
was like I was doing both of these things, but they're very much synonymous. It's entertainment. It's performance. It's skill. It's practice. they're literally the same thing. The way I played the game is the way I perform. You know, it's I want to put on a show,
Yeah.
and so I fell in love with it early. My dad, like a lot of '90s dads, they had dens and they had records and they had record players, and so I'll go in there and I'm playing around with his stuff with the records, and I'm curious. I'm curious in there, and just falling in love with the music I'm hearing. When I'm riding with dad, and then the feeling, the spirit moving when you with mom at church, and you having this connection to the music there too. So it was always there. You know what I'm saying? It was just once I really felt like I could be good at writing songs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's where it was like, oh, okay, it's something here. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. And
Yeah, bro.
and it's still, you still have the same passion for it now than you did back then. Is that correct?
It shifted a little bit
Okay.
because you as you grow, you get older, and you got kids, and you start seeing like what what the gift is actually for. You know what I'm saying? So at this stage, at 34, it's like it's not even for me.
Mm,
At first, it's for you, right?
right.
Everything you're doing is for you. It's for I want to achieve this. I want this award. I want this notoriety. I want this, and then you start getting some of it, and you like that's not the thing. The
Mm,
thing is what it can do for people, and how it can inspire and move people, and so that's, I would say, that part of it has changed just a little bit. It's not so much a thing just for me,
yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome, bro. That is awesome. I want you to, because a lot of people have that misconception, right? Like, it's like a lot of people do things for them,
Mhm.
right? But when you really tapped into like the vision that God has for you and the plans and purposes, you understand and realize that, okay, a lot of the vision that he's given me is not for me, it's for other
Mhm.
people. Whatever I benefit from it, I benefit from it. But
Yeah.
that's not the ultimate goal. So I want you to tell people why it's important to understand that when you've been given a vision and God has told you to do something, or there's a dream that he's given to you, why is it necessary to understand that it's not for you, it's for other people?
Yeah, I mean, because if not, you'll destroy everything.
See? Yep.
That's because at that point it's selfish ambition, right? And that was my
Yep.
life, like, because when here's what I'll say: building skill is a very solitary thing, right? It's a very, very solitary, like, pursuit and journey. When you're
Yep.
trying to get good at something, it's a very singular journey, and there's not, you really have to put the blinders on and focus on what you're doing if
Yeah.
you want to get good, right? But the building skill part and actually executing the vision and the mission are not the same thing. You need people to be able to execute the vision and the mission, but building a skill is a very solitary thing. That's why you hear Kanye say, "Making 5 beats a day for 3 summers." Yeah, because I'm solitary. I'm in my room and I'm doing this. Or, you hear Jay-Z talk about writing songs while he's going back and forth on the subways and the trains, and 'cause it's a solitary thing to build skill. But if you take that same approach while you're actually trying to do the thing, then you're gonna destroy all your relationships are gonna be destroyed.
Mm,
Because it's all about you, and that's a very unhealthy way, to live life. And I heard it said that you don't want to achieve your goal and look back and see like a path of destruction in your way. It was a movie that
yeah.
just came out, Marty Supreme. It just came out like during the holiday time, but it was with Timothy Chalamet,
Okay.
and he was a ping pong player, and the movie was fire. But he, like, on his journey to be this number one ping pong player in the world, everybody in his path, from parents to friends to everybody, like, lives were like shattered dealing with him on his way to get to where he was trying to go. And it wasn't until he had a son that he realized, like, oh shoot, like, I've, like, everything in my life is a mess trying to get this thing that I don't even know if it matters for real,
Mm,
and I think a lot of us, we can be guilty of that, especially men. You know what I'm
oof.
saying? Because
Man.
we equate achievement with okay, now I would be able to provide what I want to provide for my family.
Yeah.
But I think we get it a little mixed up, and so yeah, when it's like that, it's selfish ambition, and you destroy absolutely everything, and that's what I did. I did that to my life. I destroyed my life. Wife was hurt, son hurt. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I had to figure out the appropriate way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. What are you doing now? What do you do for work?
So yeah. Once again, it goes back to everything is fluid in my life. So I'm the community impact director at the YMCA in
I
Arlington and
love it.
Mansfield.
Yep.
So, everything that has to do with, community, building community and serving people, that's what I do. That's what I get the pleasure of doing. And it flows right alongside with, who I am as an artist and as a human for real. So it's, literally another extension of the vision that God is, given to
Giving
me.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
I
Yeah.
love it, man. I love it. What do you see yourself ultimately doing, right? So like, I mean, it's obviously starts with the YMCA and you in the community, but some point, because it's a vision, it's probably going to get even bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, where do you see yourself? Like, let's say if we're talking to you 5 years from now, right? Like, what do you see yourself doing?
I,
What type of impact are you making?
I really don't even do that no more. I don't
Okay.
even look at it like that no more. It's like, I'm here.
Yep.
And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever doors God want to open for me, my job is just to keep the tools sharp. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So if I'm out in the community, I get to do this at this high level where I get to, the Bible says, um, and your gift will make room for you and bring you amongst great men.
yep.
There were certain doors that, and I look at it like this: it's like culture and corporate, right? So who I am as an artist, the artist Joseph enables me to have this handprint culturally
Hmm.
here and
Okay.
abroad, different places, right? So I'm able to speak to the culture in our language. What I do at the Y allows me to take who I am and the culture I come from into this corporate setting where I get to sit with all of these people who are some of the biggest power players in the city, and
Mm,
I get to hear from them, soak up game from them, but also communicate what's like to the culture. So I get to be this bridge, bro. And I'm just like I said, I feel like I'm just here. However long God wants me here, cool, and it's like I always hear his voice just telling me, like, you take care of my stuff, I'll take care of your stuff. You
I
know what I'm
love it.
saying? You do
Yeah.
what I want you to do. I'm a come through on what you asking me to do. Um, and so I just try to make sure I'm managing and being fruitful in where he got me right now. You know what I'm saying? Some days
Yeah.
it's annoying. Like community work not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy at all. Especially at this level, because there's so many hoops you got to jump through a lot of times just to help people, because of the organism. But yeah, bro, it's a blessing, nonetheless. So it's dope to be able to, bring those worlds together and just be me all the way through and through, authentically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome, man. Earlier you mentioned that you got married at 20.
Hmm.
Um, 20 is an early age, right? So
Oh,
my
for sure.
question to you is, what made you think, and because at 20 years old, you still trying to figure things out. You may be in college, you kind of partying, getting your fun out and everything like that. But at 20, you were like, okay, you know what? I'm in the mindset where I'm gonna get married. You obviously, like you said, you had your son. What made you ready for marriage, or what made you think you were ready for
Yeah, yeah,
marriage at the
that's
age
the
of 20?
yeah. No, I don't know, man. I just youthful arrogance, bro. Youthful arrogance. You don't know what you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so I just knew that she was a phenomenal woman, and
Okay.
I wanted to be with her. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And because of my belief, like it was like this is the right way to go about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that, and yeah, bro, that was it. We had some good mentors who was, rocking with us and pouring into us. And so it just felt like that's what we were supposed to do. And obviously now you see like, yeah, okay, this was what we were supposed to do, all these years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I would chalk it up to you for arrogance. You ask my wife, she might say something else.
How'd y'all meet?
At school, at Jacksonville College in East Texas, a small junior college I was going to. And
Okay.
yeah, bro, we she actually was from Jacksonville by way of Philly. And
Okay.
we met on campus, and yeah.
So y'all was just rocking with each other. And how long was it before you proposed to her?
A year maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
it
met
wasn't
her at
long.
19, I'm
Hmm.
assuming.
Yep,
You proposed at 20.
yep.
And then how long was it before y'all got married after that?
Couple months. Yeah.
Oh, so you was ready. You was locked in on it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then we moved to Missouri 2 months after that. The school I transferred to after that, Evangel. My coach, Coach Jenkins, rest in peace. He was willing to take my whole family, got us an apartment up there, everything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It started our life.
That's what's up. So y'all trugging along. Y'all married. How long before she? How long was it before she got pregnant?
Well, she already had a son when we met, and
Okay.
so yeah, I took obviously like married both of them, and
Yep.
he was one at the time when we met, so I've
Okay.
raised him,
Okay.
since he's 17 now. So like yeah, I've raised him, and that's been the biggest blessing. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So we parents from the jump. Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, yeah.
So you locked in, you married, parents, you're thrown into a situation. Well, I'm not even gonna necessarily say thrown in because I
Chose.
don't want to bring a negative connotation in it. You're in
Yeah,
a
nah,
situation where you're playing the role, right?
yeah,
Of,
for
of,
sure.
of a father. And so with everything that's going on, would you say that it was a lot of pressure on y'all or were y'all just navigating it? Or how was everything?
Yeah,
How was the dynamic?
I don't even think we viewed it as pressure at the time.
Okay.
You know, no, I didn't even view it as pressure because things was getting taken care of. Like,
Yeah.
my gift was making room. So my ability to play ball was providing for us. And
Okay.
so it didn't feel like pressure. It wasn't until I finished playing ball where, some of that stopped. That's like, oh shoot, okay, gotta get out and get a real job. Like, gotta do you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah, for sure.
stuff like that where the pressure kind of heated up. But before that, yeah, it didn't even feel like pressure.
Wow. At the age of 20.
Yeah, no, we was just living.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good to hear a perspective like that because you hear people getting married young and stuff like that, but it's very rare that they come into a situation where like, I'm marrying you. Obviously, you and your son are a package deal, but I'm willing to take that on.
Hmm.
Even at the age of 20, it's like I'm willing to take that on and step into that role. So that's why I was asking, like, for you to do that, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's youthful arrogance. There was a maturity there, right? Because not a lot of 20-year-olds are doing that.
Yeah, well, I'm the oldest. So, being the oldest, like the firstborn son, that comes with a lot of responsibility. So I already had like all this responsibility. When we met, I'm sending money back to the crib from college.
Okay,
Like I'm doing that type of stuff already. I'm getting Christmas gifts for my little brothers. Like, so I'm already like doing this responsible stuff as the oldest.
okay,
Um, so it's like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I've never been scared of responsibility. My dad raised me in a way where it's like we embrace it. We don't run from it. So however that may look, it might look ugly at times. But you don't run from your responsibilities. You just chin up and you go. You do what you got to do.
How influential was your dad in your life?
He is the most influential person in my life. For better for worse. You know what I'm saying? That came with a lot. I always tell people my life is like Boys in the Hood and he got game. Like
Okay,
I'm Jesus Shuttlesworth and Trey. You know
okay,
what I'm saying? And those are both my dads. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Jake Shuttlesworth is my dad, and also Lawrence Fishburne is my dad. So that
yeah,
was like I grew up in that type of dynamic. Um, and there was some great things that came from it, and there was also some negative things that came from it that we had to work through together, or individually, and then work through together. But It's like I said this on another pod, but like through me healing, that also opened the door for my dad to start healing too, and working
Mm,
through the stuff I get like he dealt with. I give him so much credit because he comes from my dad is from he's black and Mexican, first of all, from
okay.
South Central LA in the
Ooh.
60s and 70s and 80s.
Okay.
So like he grew up, it's the gangs over there, like, it's crack comes in. Like my dad did all the street stuff, play ball as well. Could have been a statistic. Like left there, meets my mom, has my three boy, has us. He already had my sister, me and my two little brothers, and then like he tried.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about a man who just don't give up and he show up however it may look. That's admirable when there's a million people who never showed up at all. They never even tried, you
Yeah.
know? Um, and they have all the excuses in the world, and so through working through all of that, like my dad just rededicated his life to the Lord. Like he got baptized. You know what I'm saying? It's like we go to church together every Sunday. Like
Okay.
it's yeah, yeah. He's definitely the most influential person for sure. Like we spent a lot of time together. He was my coach until I was in 10th grade, So, it's a lot of car rides. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of
No,
car rides.
for sure, for sure. Coming up as a kid and you seeing what your dad is going through, you seeing the things that he's involved in, but you're a kid, right? Like,
Mhm.
so you see it, but you don't actually truly know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Was it, did you grow up saying, okay, you know what? I don't even care what he's involved in or what he's doing or what's going on. Like the reality is that he's my dad. He's in my life. He's being an influence to me. He's showing me how to get up, get on the grind. Like was that your viewpoint of him, or was it a viewpoint of, man, dad, like you got all this stuff going on. What you doing? You out here in the
Well,
streets.
I didn't know. So this is
Okay.
before I was born.
Okay.
Like this the 80s. When he moved
Okay.
to Texas, he kind of started putting all that stuff away.
Got you.
Um, but yeah, I didn't I had no clue. I thought my dad was cool. He coached, he played ball with a lot of people in this community. Like they all know him. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like everybody know him. So like
Right.
by the time I came up playing ball, they was all reformed drug dealers. All the dads was reformed drug dealers who coaching their sons now. And they all
Yeah.
play semi pro ball together. And they were community fathers. So I get that from him where it's like I watched my dad, like I said, he coached me. I watched my dad pick up kids all around Arlington, drive South Dallas, pick up kids, bring them back to Grand Prairie where we practice at the Grand Prairie Boys and Girls Club, feeding kids, paying for tournaments. They staying the night at our house, 6, 7 kids at the crib. Like that's the type of stuff I watched my dad do, all for the love of the game and wanting to pour into the kids because
Yeah.
he didn't have nobody to do that. Where
Mm.
growing up in South Central, and so like I said, that community father. But it wasn't just him; it was a bunch of other people who did that as well. And those are the type of men I grew up under. They came from the streets, but they was like, "This ain't it. We got to make sure these youngins got something else they can do." And so ball was that. And for a long time I demonized that because it's like, man, we ain't got nothing to talk about but ball.
Yeah.
But what I had to understand was my dad, basketball was the best thing, the most purest thing he had in his life. And so by him giving this to me, he was like, I'm trying to give you what I feel like is the best of me. And this is the best
Mm.
of me. This is where I'm the best leader I am. I could be the best man I am on this court. Like and so like with a adult, viewpoint of that, it's like, wow, thank you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Instead of like, dang, you didn't teach me this or that or that or that. But it's like, nah, you wanted to give me what you felt was gonna be the best thing for my life that you knew based on how you grew up and all the things that you went through. That's admirable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
wow, man, thank you. Thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. So yeah, bro.
Man, if I could have had a piece of that, my life. I mean, I'm not saying because I could have went. one way or the other too, because I didn't have that. I didn't have a father in my life. But even just hearing you say that, like he gave you what he thought you needed to have to in order to be able to survive. Like if I could have just had a piece of that,
Mhm.
you know, just it's when I listen to people talk about their relationships with their dads and how influential they were, I'm just like, man, it's like, dang, if I could have just had a piece of that,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
how much better off my maturity would have started, right?
Yeah.
My maturity started late because I didn't have that example,
Yeah.
you know.
But I think that's a sometimes that can be a misconception too,
Okay.
because you do pick up on some of the bad habits too.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't the greatest husband. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I knew the things that were going on. And so it's like you pick up on those things and his perspective on certain things and the conversations we have and seeing him around his friends and the way they interact. And you're like, oh, this is how we supposed to do it. But you're not realizing all of this is a toxic mess. Like you don't know that then, but you internalizing it. And it's shaping how you see the world and how you see women and how you talk about women and how you're gonna act in your marriage and and so it was but that and so it wasn't until I got to college and I got to see my college coach and how he did marriage that I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to. I grew up in my house was volatile. You know what I'm saying? There was a time it's like walking on eggshells. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
my baby brother had passed. He was premature. And when
Okay.
he passed, man, and when he passed, something broke in our house. Like my dad was a different person after that. We used to have fun. We used to go to the movies together. We used to do all this stuff. He was a completely different person. I'll never forget because I was 11. But when he passed, something broke in my dad, and we never talked about it in the house. Like we just went through this traumatic thing where our my mom lost a son, my dad lost a son, and we lost a brother, and we never talked about it.
Wow.
So it's like nobody's really grieving. My dad just started drinking heavier. My mom started going to church more. So there was like this split with them. And then me and my brothers are just left trying to deal with it. And that showed itself by my dad's anger. And he took a lot of that out on me. And you know, when I was a kid, obviously it's just pain. You're just like, dang, he's just giving me the pain that he has. He's just like sharing it. But
Yeah.
when I look back, I'm like, man, and he finally just forgave himself because he told me he was like, I feel like that happened because of the stuff I did in the streets. I was like, Dad, God don't work like that.
Mm-mm.
I was like, they ain't got nothing to do with each other.
Nah.
And he cried. He like cried, and I know he's
Yeah.
cool with me sharing it, but it was like that was the thing that freed him up. It freed him up. You know what I'm saying? And so, oh man, bro, I don't
No,
know.
that's not good. Take your time, man. Take your time, man. It's
And
yeah.
so as an adult with that perspective, I couldn't imagine pulling the plug on my son. You know what
Ugh.
I'm saying? He had to do that.
Yeah.
Something's gonna break, and especially back then, ain't no outlets, ain't no therapy, ain't no you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no places to go, ain't no manly places for you to walk through those emotions the
Yeah.
way there is now. Now we got a bunch of different things, but it's 2001. Ain't no spaces like that.
Yeah.
Ain't no space. So that rears its ugly head in negative ways, because we don't know how to grieve, So, but yeah, thank God he was able to we work through that, and he finally forgave himself for something he didn't have nothing to do with, you know.
How did that impact the relationship with your mother? Him and because him and hers dynamic. How did that affect that when that happened?
Well, it was never good.
Okay.
So, like I said, we grew up in a volatile home where they was beefing. It wasn't physical abuse or nothing like that, but they was just beefed out all the time. I seen my parents kiss and hold hands like one time,
Yeah.
and they were in the house together for 16 years. It's a long
Wow.
time to not see no intimacy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that type of example. Um, and so yeah, bro, my mom was a great woman. Um, Karen wants to get community based. Like both of them had that piece where they take care of they really show up for people. And but they just, they couldn't figure it out for whatever reason. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, so you still have a good relationship with your mom today?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, she
Okay.
remarried. She's been married now a couple like over a decade now to her husband who's phenomenal. Um but yeah, now she's doing her thing. She's a pastor. So yeah.
Do you think you guys have? So I know you said y'all never really grieved or healed from that situation because obviously, in order to heal, you have to grieve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think you guys are at this today? Do you think you guys are all fully healed from that?
I can't speak for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can say that I am. I don't. And what let me know is because I'm not angry with anybody.
Mm,
Yeah, I might get frustrated. Like we all get frustrated because we the first generation to have all this access to this stuff that we can, like therapy and stuff like that, talking through this stuff, and we're the first generation to really have that. And so
yeah,
for them, it's still taboo. Even women, it's still taboo. In our black families, we sweep everything under the rug and keep on moving, and it's
yeah,
like we can't heal like that. It
yeah,
wasn't. I've had to start. Call stuff out. Like, hey, y'all, we got to heal. We got to talk about this. We can't just, oh, this happened. Let's move on. No, let's talk about.
let's talk.
Let's talk about this thing. Like we got to figure this out because if we don't, now our baby's just going through the same thing, and I just refuse to let my babies have to go through the same things I went through. Like what's the point? Which is why, when me and my wife split and we divorced, it was like that was one of the key things is like I'm gonna leave my son to figure this out,
Mm,
to like learn how to be a good no, come on, man. Like, nah, I can't do that. I can't leave that up to him. I gotta do that. I gotta figure this out. I can't let him have to deal with the same thing I did, like my
yeah,
dad did, and then his dad did. We can't do that. We got at some point somebody got to say no. Like,
no, for sure.
no, no, we not doing this again. So that's what it come down to, bro. People, you just got to say no.
You
Like,
got to
nah,
break the cycle, dog.
yeah,
You got to break that cycle, man.
yeah,
A lot of people don't know how to do it. They don't know how to break the cycle. They haven't been taught to, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can to overcome what I've been through, to not be the statistic, to not be the next person so they can say, hey, they whole family struggling or dealing with this. Like, how do I break that cycle?
yeah,
And it's hard for people, man. It's hard for people to have that inner desire and that inner fortitude to be like, this stops with me.
yeah, bro. It's tough.
And I don't know how we as a community or as a culture, how do we teach people to be cycle breakers?
I don't think you
You know,
can teach. Man, look, it for me is you got to kind of get to the point where you had enough. Shia LaBeouf just did an interview, and I love Shia LaBeouf so much
yeah,
uh, because I feel like we grew up with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he
yeah,
said something. He was like, the interviewer asked him, how do I come to have faith in Jesus? He was like, you got to hit your head hard enough.
mm,
He was like, that's how it worked for me. And so I think that applies, bro. Like, you just got to hit your head hard enough and be like, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? And that point is different for everybody. There is no there's no one size fits all to healing, bro. There's no one size fits all to stopping, cycles. Everybody's process looks different. And I wish we would stop trying to generalize it. Some
yeah.
people it might, it took my dad 64. It took him 64 years to like, I guess, get a real relationship with Jesus. Does that matter? No. 60 no, he got it. That's what matters. He
That's what
got it.
matters. Yep.
Got it. That's what matters. So it ain't,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that matters is he got it. Cool. He in that book. We can get to them gates. He good. That's what matters. And so I think we just gotta, just support people when they trying to do it. Like
Yeah.
support people. Like stop. We got a bad habit of holding people to who they used to be
Mm,
and holding people to the worst version that you've seen of them. But we do that because it makes us feel better about ourselves. You
Yep.
know, most people in the world is insecure.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yes.
so, you know, I'd probably say like 90% of people is insecure for real.
Yeah.
And so when you finally starting to make that shift and people won't let you grow out of that, yeah, you probably gotta cut them off. Like they
Yeah.
won't let you, man, bro. Remember when we used to, for sure, bro. But I'm on this now, and it might be uncomfortable. You know, I had to deal with that with my best friend. He got locked up when I was 18. He was 19, just turned 20. He did 14 years. You know, and I walked the whole bid down with him, letters, visits, like all the stuff. But when he came home, I wasn't little bro no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that was something we had to work through because I'm not into the same stuff. Like you different, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And like we had an incident at a music video. It was his first time being at a music video I was doing, and it was, you know, big production and all that. And you know, he thought I needed him to do what he did for me when we was young, in the way
Okay.
he like built me up and encouraged me and challenged me like a real big brother. And
Right.
he thought I needed him to do that now. And it made
Okay.
for a very weird video shoot. Like everybody looking like, what bro on? Cause they
Yeah.
don't know, like, nah, your brother is like this super professional artist where he like really do this. He doesn't need you to like he knows exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. And we had to work through that. You know, we had to work through that. But that's what real friends do to where we don't hold each other who we used to be. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We don't even like talking about old times. Like what we on now.
Bro.
It's too much, man, bro. You remember, like, if that's all we ever got to talk about, we probably need to just. It's
Go our
okay to have
separate
some new fun.
ways.
Yeah, bro. We got
Yeah.
to stop
Yeah.
this. My day ones. Listen. Sometimes you need some day threes and fours,
Right.
bro.
You,
Because them day ones will keep you at day one, and you can't
for
grow
sure.
past that. You
And
know?
when you look back on it, you be looking at your old self. I mean, you just start cringing. I mean, you appreciate your journey and where you came from, but when you start looking back on the things you did, you just cringe, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a
100%.
sign of growth. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be looking back and reflecting back and being like, oh man, I miss when I used to be in the streets doing this and doing that.
Yeah, bro. Like even like you know, this was like literally like my big bro, and you know, we had conversations like, man, bro, we was going the wrong way. I was leading y'all the wrong way.
Yeah,
You know, taking responsibility, and it's like, man, we just didn't know. We ain't know. This is what our dads was telling us. We ain't know. We thought that's the move. Like I say a line on my new album that's about to come out here in a couple months. I said, "Led by the wisest child, who knows better."
mm,
No child knows better. You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
That's how mistakes happen because you're being led by the blind. You know, by children, like led by the wisest child. Who knows better? Not a child. You're gonna
yeah.
do some dumb stuff. You're gonna make some stupid mistakes. You're gonna take penitentiary chances. You know, all of that. And so, yeah, bro. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's good, man. The growth is a thing, man. Growth is major, and once you get to the point where you realize that you are a new you're recreated, the sky's the limit. And that goes into like your relationships, who you meet, who you make an impact on. You know, not everybody can come on your journey with you that was
Yeah,
there in the
bro.
past, and it ain't no hard feelings. And I think that's the problem with people. Like they don't understand and realize that they're not mature enough to understand and realize that, you know what, bro is on some different stuff. And I may not be able to come with him because I'm still stuck in that day one mentality. I'm not in the day three, day four. And that's not his fault. That's just something that I need to focus on within myself. How do I get to day three, day four? But a lot of people, like you said, they want you to be where they are. So they can't appreciate your growth. And when they can't appreciate it, what does it turn into? It turns into hating, it turns into jealousy, it turns into envy, it turns into all of that stuff, all because they don't understand the new you and who you are, who you used to be versus who you are now.
Yeah, and the sacrifices you made to get it,
Yep.
to become that person.
Yep.
You know, everybody want growth and they want the next level without doing what it take to get to the next level.
Yep.
You know, whatever that look like. Like If that look like, all right, I gotta stop, I don't know, I'm just don't stop smoking, or if
Yeah.
I gotta stop going out, or if I gotta, wake up earlier, if I
Yeah.
gotta, everybody not like for instance, bro, I live a pretty disciplined life. I like to think, and there are the only time I truly have to just sit down and record music is early in the morning.
Okay.
That's it, bro. Like, but everybody not willing to do that.
Yeah.
To be like, all right, I'm gonna get this like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning when the house is quiet. I'm gonna get this done because I know once they up, like I gotta, once the family's up, that's it. Like it's
That's it.
active.
Yeah.
And so, but everybody's not willing to do those like little things that it actually takes. You know what I'm saying? Like to get to the next space or to figure it out where you are. And yeah, bro. Everybody's just not willing to do that.
Yeah. No, for sure. You're right. It's about sacrifice. I want to go back. So earlier you mentioned that, obviously with your dad, there was some habits that you picked up on as far as like bad habits or,
Hmm.
as a husband, you saw how he was and then it kind of affected you. What were some of those habits that you brought into your marriage, right? Some of the things that you look back on and you're like, dang, those were some bad habits that I knew that potentially could cost me in my marriage. Like, what were some of those habits that you picked up on?
Yeah, the biggest one is probably the communication and the way they communicated. My dad is a big personality, like big voice, like yell, like tone, all this stuff. And my
Mhm.
wife comes from an extremely a way worse household than me. And that loud tone and stuff like that, I don't work for her.
Okay.
And my dad would do that, my mom would shut down. And it's just like you don't get nowhere. The house just get cold. And so that had happened with us. And it took a lot of looking in the mirror, bro. Like I give so much credit to E.T., the hip hop preacher,
Yeah,
for
I know you're talking about.
bro, seeing somebody like that, a black man who was cool, he not corny, and the way he like love his wife, and like how he talk about like just all the stuff, and like I see myself in him. I'm like, okay, yeah. I gotta, okay, this is what I gotta work on. This, like, you know what I'm saying. So I have an example now. Um, And so yeah, bro, that's probably the biggest one, bro.
The
Like
biggest one.
just because that's the root of everything. If you can't communicate, you can't get nowhere for real. And also obviously the Bible is real specific on how we should deal with our wives, bro. Like in
Yeah.
gentleness, because they are the weaker vessel. Not saying the weaker vessel, but like emotionally, like you know,
Hmm.
and you gotta like deal with that gently. If not, they shut down and then we don't get nowhere, you know. So yeah.
So I want to talk about. So obviously, you get divorced,
Hmm.
and then you get remarried to your ex-wife,
Hmm.
right? And so, first and foremost, after you got divorced, how long was it before y'all got remarried?
The whole process was 18 months.
18 months.
Hmm.
Okay. And in the time that y'all got divorced between y'all reconnecting, did you have an idea that, okay, this could circle back around, but maybe I just need to take some time to, no, you
No, I
didn't?
was I was on bullshit, bro. I ain't gonna lie
Okay.
to you. Like I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I was so lost in the sauce, bro, and chasing all the vain pursuits of the world, bro.
Yep.
Trying to be what I thought was successful, but it wasn't. It just left me alone in the house, bro, depressed.
Mm,
And when I moved back to Texas, because we split when we were still in Missouri. And
okay.
when I moved back to Texas, still on dumb shit. Like I remember I was sitting at my bro house and we was drunk, high, all this stuff, and I'm just like out, but I'm conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, and I just hear God like, bro, what you doing? This not even who you are. This is not what I created you to be. And it was like I sobered up in that moment and like
Wow.
drove home. I was staying with my mom at the time. And then the coming couple months, it was like God started speaking to me more and more. And I kind of like got away from everything. I stopped going out, stopped drinking, stopped smoking, all this stuff. And I was just listening. And this is the time when I really started listening to E.T. And so he was like, it's really speaking to me, bro. And I'm still seeing them, holidays. I'm still seeing them, my son's birthday, all the stuff. We still seeing each other. And all
Hmm.
the while, bro, she just like, why we can't make this work? Why we can't figure this out? I ain't trying to hear it because I'm like, I ain't never getting married again. This is dead.
Yeah.
But when the pandemic hit, and by this time I'm full fledged, like renewed. God has renewed me, like changing my heart. And I'm fully in processing. When the pandemic hit, or right before, actually, it's like February. Um, we had a conversation. No. Hold on. Yes, pandemic hits,
Hmm.
and I remember my dad asked me like, if everything hit the fan, what you gonna do? I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I'm gonna go get Beth and my son. I'm gonna go pick them up. And then right in that moment, it's like God was like, "Why you gotta do all that? Like, if that's what you're gonna do, why did you have to get divorced? And you that's still
Mm.
that don't make no sense." And that was like the
Yeah.
first time where it was like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of stupid for real." But then, and bro, it's so funny, bro, where God will take you to sit you down and calm you down. Like, bro, I was supposed to sign a deal a couple months like before that fell through. And I'm working with my dad. My dad owned a cleaning, like a commercial cleaning company. I'm working with him, and I found so much peace cleaning them buildings, bro.
Yep.
Like you'd be surprised, bro. Like just listening to music and podcasts, and you know what I'm saying. Like I'm really enjoying. I'm like I could do this for the rest of my life and be cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I really found contentment there, and God was really speaking to me, bro. And so Et had just dropped a little one of those motivational albums he used to drop, and on it he talked about how God told him to go fix his relationship with his mom. And when I'm listening
Mm.
to that, I remember I audibly heard God be like, "Go, you need to go fix it with your wife." And out loud, I said, "Nope." And my dad turned around and was like, "What you say?" Because I was like, "Nope." And but it was on me, bro. And so we sat down and had a conversation. And she asked me again why we can't fix this, and I was just like, I don't know. Like let's try to figure it out. Let's start with being friends. And so from there, bro, it just went, and by the grace of God, we was able to,
Reconnect.
reconnect, bro, put it
Wow.
back together. It's hard. I tell everybody, and that was just the start because we had so much. Bro, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's not even close. Like
Yeah.
this is the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life
Yeah.
because the depths of like the honesty you got to get to and the peeling back the scar, like it's hard, bro. It
Yeah.
is hard, and but it's worth it though. You know what I'm saying? Like all the people who have been able to be blessed by a story and reconcile, bro. Like when we first shared the story, when I started sharing bits and pieces in 2023, and they was like going viral, the little interview clips, and it was like two went viral, and then the one that like did like millions and millions of views across platforms, like it's like, dang, this is crazy. Everybody's
Yeah.
feeling it, And then when we dropped the song "In Perfect Love," which kind of like detailed a little bit of like what it was, and that goes viral too. And you just read the comments and like, you know, of other couples who are trying to figure it out, and the song giving them hope. It's like, bro, when you talk about mission, going back to mission, like
Yeah.
what you go through ain't just for you.
Mm.
Most people would just I'm just not that person. I feel like as an artist, you have a duty to be honest.
For sure. Yeah.
Um, and so I had to, when we shared it, it was like overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? In a good way and a positive way. I mean, a good way and a negative way. Cause it's like, bro, my biggest failure is public, like as a man, but also people are being blessed and they being inspired and it's helping them and they trying to go figure it out and rekindle. And I'm getting messages from bros and praying with them and all type of stuff, bro. So it's like, it was all worth it. You know what I'm saying? It was all worth it.
I love that, bro. I love that, man. You're right. The story isn't just for you. You really find out how many people are going through it, and the only way you can do that is if you come out with your story first. Sometimes some people just need you to drop your story, And then boom, you start seeing all the support coming, everybody who's going through it. And from there, it's like, man, that's the impact. That's the goal is
Yeah,
how do I allow somebody to see that this is possible?
yeah,
A lot of people don't think it's possible. A lot of people, they in the trenches, they don't think it's possible. They 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and they don't see that this can actually happen, that this
yeah,
exists. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And that's
And
what, a lot of people would compare us to like, Toby Newigwe and Fat,
mhm,
but they ain't had this type of story. You know what I'm saying? Like this not their story. For them, like somebody, if you look at them, you probably like, yeah, I don't even relate to that. They look like they haven't, they blessed, they family blessed, they kids like it's just up and up and up. But that just ain't my story, bro. Like
mm-mm,
that's not my wife and I's story. Like we represent something for people, um, who like really trying to figure this thing out for real and like work through all these like who ain't get it right. You know what I'm saying? We represent the group who didn't get it right, who trying to figure it
yeah,
out and put it together, bro, and like just doing their best to work through it all, and it's just grit and grind and you know what I'm saying? That like, man, we just not gonna quit, Like because I'm in the front and people see my face all the time and I'm more vocal, but my wife is a dog, bro. Like she cold. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? She a real gangster. Like,
yeah,
and without somebody like that to challenge you and push you and press against you and iron sharpen iron, like all this stuff, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like this, yeah, bro. So
And she was probably waiting on you. She was like, you know what? Well, first and foremost, I commend and respect her for that because most people they'd be like, you know what, on to the next, you in their rearview mirror, they not looking back. But
I
it sounds like she was waiting on you to get it together,
yeah,
but at the same time, she just sitting back because maybe a part of her is like, you know what, at the end of the day, this is my person, right? So at some point, this is going to work its way back around. So let me just see what I can do to kind of see what he's got going on, but also at the same time work on myself
yeah,
because I know we're gonna find our way back to each other.
yeah. Yeah, she had that type of faith. I didn't,
Yeah,
but she did, and
yeah, yeah,
when they women be knowing, bro, they got that intuition for real. So yeah,
yeah.
bro. She yeah, she phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? What they say, she way out of my league.
Hey man, but look at y'all now. Look at y'all today. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and how long y'all been married? Like off and on total?
So this would be actually on the 18th. It'll be 14 years.
Okay, congrats, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Dang,
Thank you.
wow, that's a testimony, dog.
Yeah, nah, for real, man. It's a blessing. It's only by the grace of God, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? His power, like, the ability to forget, all that come from the Lord, bro. That's the biggest X factor in all of this. You can have a desire all you want, but without God in it, bro, you cooked.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? You cook. And that's why I tell people when they ask me, like, bro, how can I do this? Bro, God. That's
that's
numero
it.
uno. So if you ain't gonna if God ain't in it, I can't I don't know what to
Can't help
tell
you.
you, bro. I don't
Yeah.
yeah, you on your own for real. Cause I don't know if better communication is alone is gonna work. I don't know.
Nah.
Cause God had to do this. Like
Yeah.
so I can't tell you like you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I approach it. Like I don't if you believe in the God that I believe in, God of the Bible, Yahweh, then like you got it's some hope. But if not, I don't know what to tell you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
If we leaned onto our own understanding for things,
It's over, bro.
it's over.
It's over.
You done.
Hmm.
That's what's up, man. Well, I'm gonna get you out of here on this last question. Let's say you sitting across the table from 20-year-old Joseph, and he's just in the trenches right now, trying to navigate things. You know, he's going through a lot right now, and it's affecting him. His life is on the downward spiral, and he just comes to you in general, just being like, you know what piece of advice can you offer me? Now you talking a 20-year-old Joseph, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? What's one piece of advice that you can tell him to help him to maybe try to navigate things a little bit differently?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is I'll be like, you were right. You know, yeah, you were right. Everything you thought about yourself, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
All the good things you thought and you felt, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only right if you stay connected to Yahweh.
Mm.
That's the only way you're right. Once you disconnect from Him, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Like everything bad that happens in your life is because you disconnect from Yahweh.
Yeah.
Stay connected to Yahweh, and everything you've seen for yourself, you're right. It's going to happen. Might not look the way you thought it would look, but it's going to happen. Just stay
Mm.
connected to Yahweh.
Stay connected.
That's it, bro.
He'll give you the vision.
That's it, bro. Like and
Wow.
order your steps too. And
Yeah.
order your steps. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, he show you the end goal, but he also going step by step in the process with you if you just trust. You know what I'm
You
saying? So
trust, you stay on track,
that's
and
it.
he's gonna lead you where you need to go.
That's it,
And
bro.
it's gonna be so much more better than if you try to go your own route. If you try to
Telling you,
go
bro.
your own route, it's
It's
like
fried,
you
bro.
said, yeah, you done.
Yeah. Everything bad that happens like that when you get off on your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's yeah. Just stay
Wow.
connected.
This was good, bro. I definitely appreciate you coming on and giving your man's perspective and journey. And I mean, just in what you've said in this episode alone, man, I hope that this helps somebody because a lot of people deal with stuff, they go through life, but this is what makes it worth it. And what makes it better is we could get people's journeys in so people can know, number one, I'm not alone, but number two, there is hope for me and I can get through this. I can get divorced from my wife and then remarry my wife, or
Yeah.
I can go through the trenches with the example that I had as a father, good and bad, but it could also help me navigate things to see, okay, what I saw my dad do that may have been a bad habit, I'm going to choose to go different or go down a different path.
100%.
And so I appreciate you sharing your perspective and journey, man. This was a good episode, bro.
No, I appreciate you having me, bro. Just being able to, come on and talk about this stuff, bro. Like it's always refreshing to not just talk about the music stuff, but actually talk about like the life that goes into it, and you know what I'm saying, those things. So yeah, bro.
And when's your
Appreciate you.
album dropping? When is it coming out?
Oh, we don't have a date, but
Okay.
we just dropped a new single a couple weeks ago called "Undying Love," which kind
Okay.
of gets into some of that stuff and the process of like a woman's thoughts and a man's thoughts on why it can be hard to communicate. So yeah, y'all go
Mm.
check that out. Undying Love.
Ooh, I can't wait, bro.
Yeah,
Ooh. I love hearing stuff like that, man. Trust me, I'm a sponge. I soak in everything. I still take nuggets.
for
I'm
sure.
going on 6 years of marriage, but
There we go.
I'm far from just being arriving. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right on, bro. I'm with you. I'm with you. Still trying to figure it out every day.
yes, sir.
Every
Yes,
day. Every day, bro.
absolutely, man. Well, make sure you following us on IG where we post reels from the episodes. And if you can't watch us, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at Flip That Switch. So whether you watching or listening, please make sure you tapping in. Also, if you got a story out there you want to get out to the masses and you want to be a guest on the Flip That Switch podcast, hit me in the comments. I'd love to sit down and interview you. So if that's you, make sure you hit me in the comments. But Joseph, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Likewise, bro.
And
Appreciate
we're gonna be watching you from afar, man, and making sure you still on the straight and narrow path.
you. Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yes, sir. Likewise, bro. Likewise. Appreciate your platform, bro.
Yes, sir. We gonna see y'all for the next episode, and we out. Peace.
Peace.